We are Bud Bartley homeowners, and we built in 2010, moved in 2011. The reason we chose Bud Bartley was primarily for reputation. They've built throughout Flower Mound and the surrounding areas, and a lot of builders after 2008 that were struggling and going under, and in fact, my brother and my sister-in-law built a house, and now they're builders out of business. And we saw a lot of those things going on around that time, and the people that made it through that time and the tough times are the ones you want to stick with, and that's what we saw in Bud Bartley. The process was great. It was
very smooth.
Very smooth. Curtis, we started out, we built a custom. We didn't have a floor plan that was supplied by Bud Bartley. So we built a custom home. We had an architect that we worked with, and through every phase, they were wonderful to work with. Make any changes, stop the process right now. We want to do something different here. Or we want to look at something different there. What do you guys think about doing this or that? There was never any problem with it. And Curtis was great to work with. He solved all of our problems if any arose.
And Brian was great in the building process.
Brian was wonderful in the building process. Never, because we changed a lot of things on Brian from the get-go. Whether it was brick to stone, no, we want this stone now rather than brick, or whether we wanted, wait, on the framing process, wait, we want this room bumped out, or we want this a little bit different here. Design and all our components that we wanted in the house and everything were in. The build process was real easy with Brian. He was wonderful to work with. Any changes we wanted to make, any additions we wanted to have, anything we wanted to do here, we changed on framing things, we changed on, and there were times we had to slow up the process and say, hold on, we need to figure this out, let's all think about it and figure a better way to do this. And it was not, a lot of times we might know there's a better way to do it,
but not which route we wanted to go.
Yeah, and Brian would present us, or Curtis, or whoever, different options that we could go with. And different things to think about, things like that, and that helped quite a bit. The folks at the office, Catherine, Susan, on the design side, they were great to present options to, here's something you might want to think about, here's things you might want to do differently, and that worked out real good. I know we made changes to windows in the house and the tint color of the windows. It was rather than a blue type tint, it was a green tint window. So we made a lot of changes along the way, and that was never a problem as far as anybody was concerned with Bud Bartley. One big thing on our home was that we found interesting was the energy efficiency of the house, and we were kind of surprised, and we were told, you'll be amazed at how good it'll be. We went from a 3,000 square foot house to a little bit over 5,000 square foot, and our bills are consistent basically with what they were on the old house.
Yeah.
Now the old house was built in 1998, but we just got our first bill this summer, and it was consistent with what we would have on that 3,000 square foot house. Which surprised us, and I think I know it's due a lot to the energy efficiency of the home, how it's constructed, how it's built, and that. And our insurance went down too. That was surprising when we put everything in, and here we have a much more expensive house than what we had before, and our insurance is
less than what it was.
Less than what it was too.
Susan, the designer, helped us out tremendously. She gave us all the choices, and even came to all the places for the selection.
Whether it was for granite, whether it was for tile, and it was never a problem. When do you want to meet? What time do you want to be there? I'll
I'll
meet you
fix your
there.
schedule.
Yeah.
Lighting, she came for lighting.
Lighting, every step along the way. We also had a designer, a friend of ours, good friend of ours, that does design, and
We brought her along to help with our selection, and her and Susan got along tremendously.
yeah, that worked out real well. That ended up being a real good process too, that we were real pleased with, because that can be, there's so many, once you get into it, there's so many things to choose. I mean, besides you go out there, the type of tile, the size of tile, what type of colors are you running through the house, because that's all going to affect everything. That's why we had our own designer kind of helping us, what color, so that would help with that too. Then do you want it laid on the diagonal? Do you want it, all that thing. One thing we started thinking about, travertine. Do we want this here? Do we want it in the shower if we want it? Well, it's subject to a little bit, can be a little moldy, if you don't keep it. So, there's all stuff like that, and
Susan was great with all those decisions.
yeah, with all those decisions on carpet, on, all those things. So that was a good process.